I was so worried about this excursion. I don't know if it was worth it. And it was expensive, $250 a person. And we sort of convinced our sister-in-law who was traveling with us to do this as well. And we sure hoped that it was worth $750 for 3 people. So let's talk about it. Let's see if we think it was really worth it. What is the Tracy Arm Fjord? Well, the Tracy Arm Fjord is a day on your cruise. Typically, Carnival cruises go to the Tracy Arm Fjord. Sometimes they go to a different fjord if that fjord is not accessible. And a fjord is basically like a glacial valley that has receded back over the years, but it's an inlet to the ocean. So you've got access directly to the ocean. It's a very deep water channel, so the big cruise ships can go in there. About 15 years ago, I went on this same cruise, and we went into the Tracy Arm Fjord, and the cruise ship itself got to be right in front of the glacier. I mean, here's pictures of it in 2015, and we were right there. We were right at the face of the glacier. We saw the little expedition boats, but we were like, okay, they didn't get a whole lot closer than we were. So I wasn't really sure why anybody would pay that extra money to go on that expedition boat. This time was very different. The glacier at Tracy Arm Fjord has, I think it's called I'll put the name of the glacier here. The Tracy Arm Fjord glacier has receded quite a bit over those last 9 years. And at the end of this video, I'll kind of show you pictures of what it is like today and what it was like 15 years ago, and you can kind of see the difference. But on this cruise, you couldn't get very close to the glacier. In fact, you really only saw the glacier through some cracks in the mountains. So I knew that. I had done my research. I'd watched a lot of YouTube videos. And so I think we need to do this other expedition or this other excursion so that we actually get to see the face of the glacier. And so that was the plan. Now, did it work out? Well, you're going to find out. So our excursion was very, very early in the morning. Now, this whole day is a sea day, but you're in the fjord. Now, there's typically two boats or 2 trip times that you can get on the Explorer. Excursion. I don't know why I can't say that word right. But there's a very early morning and then there's a later day. So one is going into the glacier and one is coming back from the glacier. So the later day one was sold out, so we purchased the one early in the morning. It was early in the morning. I think maybe we had to get on the boat at 7:30, or maybe we met at 7:30. Maybe we met at 6:30. I don't remember. It was really early. But it seemed like many of the excursions that we did on our Alaska trip were very early in the morning. So we had lots of early mornings. So we met and we went and got on the boat early in the morning. One thing I had heard about on the boats were glacieritas. So I thought, funny to be drinking that early in the morning, and I don't really drink very much. Maybe, in a whole cruise, maybe 1 or 2 drinks. But I wanted a glacierita just because of it being a glacierita. So eventually I'll let you know whether or not I got that. So as we go, we get on the boat, and it was right away, it was a great experience. There was plenty of room downstairs, plenty of room upstairs if you wanted to go upstairs and be kind of in the open air. there was, you know, big gorgeous windows, and we had a really beautiful day. So we had a great experience in that sense. Being in the fjord is kind of a magical experience, and it's something that you can't even really describe. It's like being in a whole other world, kind of a dream world. And I can show you pictures, but they just don't do it justice. That milky green water, and it's milky because of the glacial silt. That milky green water is ethereal. It is like nothing you've ever seen before. We're used to seeing like maybe crystal blue Caribbean waters. This is different. This is a green color. And so it was, as you were going down the fjord, you're seeing all of these waterfalls. They are not actually waterfalls. They're called cascades. So it's melting snow, or possibly part of the glacier. You know, different areas. Some are glaciers, some is just ice pack. That is melting in this, you know, in the summer, and so those become cascades, and they're just like these ribbons, these silver ribbons coming down into the fjord. The other exciting thing to look for is animals. So sometimes you see bear, and sometimes you usually see seals. So we were kind of expecting the seals, expecting eagles, and hoping to see bear. Did we see them? You'll see. My favorite part of going down the fjord are the icebergs. The color on these icebergs is the deepest, most intense blue. Not a navy blue, more like a turquoise blue. The most incredible color of blue that you've ever seen in your whole life. I mean, honestly, to look at this color almost hurts. It just is so beautiful to me. To me, it is the most beautiful color in the entire world. I just can't get over it. Now, not all the icebergs are, these are, you know, chunks of ice that have fallen off the glacier, and then they're just making their way out to shore, or out to the ocean, and just, you know, melting along the way. But they're just so beautiful, and they're just, talk about dreamlike. I mean, they're just something you've only seen in pictures. And there you are, you're right there, and you're seeing it with your naked eye. And it's truly amazing. And so as you get closer to the glacier, you see more and more and more of these. And these are the reason that the ship really can't get very close to the glacier anymore. At least I'm assuming that's part of the reason. If there's too much ice, they can't get that close. Now, on some of the excursions, I have heard that if there's too much ice by the glacier, even the little boat can't get that close. So I've heard that some of the excursions do not make it all the way to the glacier. That would have been very, very disappointing. So spoiler alert, we made it to the glacier. It sounds like if they don't make it to the glacier, you get some of your money back. And sometimes it sounds like the whole trip is canceled. You know, they aren't able to, it's just not safe enough to go out. So we were very fortunate, very, very, very fortunate. I think that the morning trip was the best because you go through all the fjord. And so it all is just sort of building up and building up and building up. And then you're at the glacier. Tremendous. I think if you did it the other way around, you would have already seen the Tracy Arm Fjord. So that wouldn't be anything extra special. And you're going to see the glacier first. So you kind of end up seeing the best part first. So if you can stand waking up early in the morning, I would go on the morning one. So when we got to the glacier, it was indeed spectacular. Just amazing. And I just, you almost just can't take your eyes off of it. And they spin the boat around so that everybody gets a good view. But it was, and we were there for a long time. I felt like we were there for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It felt like we were there a long time. And that was so nice. It was just incredible to be, just to be there and just to be in the presence of such a majestic sight. It just felt like you were in, I heard somebody on another video say it feels like you're in a documentary. And that's what it felt like. It felt like, you're in the IMAX theater, but it's real. It's real. It's not, just something you're seeing on film. It was truly amazing. Now, my sister-in-law caught this video of a calving, I guess that's what it's called, a calving. And I would get my camera over and take some pictures of it. But usually I didn't get my camera over there until after it had already happened. So here she got the video of it actually happening. I'll play it a few times. It's so beautiful. I probably saw, I would say 5 or 6 different calving incidents. So it happened frequently. It wasn't like something, well, we sat there all day and it never happened. It was continually happening. Some of them were bigger and some of them were smaller. But boy, when the calving would happen, there would be a great big wave. So you definitely didn't want to be around, too close when those big waves would come through. Also right there by the glacier, there were seals. And so we saw several different seals that were kind of lounging on the glacial ice. And that's really neat to see. Well, one thing, heading back, I took a lot of pictures because I wanted to be able to compare the 2015 to the 2024 glacier and try to see, the difference. And so here's kind of the best comparison shot of the two. And you can kind of, I'm going to put these up here for a while so you can kind of study them. You can also pause the video if you want to really study those two pictures. But I try to get something that matched up as good as possible so that you can really see the contours of the mountains comparatively and then see where the ice is now. But that was, there are some, most glaciers are receding, but there are some that are increasing. So I told you I would tell you about the Glacier Rita. Well, at the beginning of the trip, maybe, I don't know, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes into the trip down the fjord, they pulled over and they pulled up some ice from the water. And this is fresh water. The ice is fresh water because it's from the snow. So they pulled up the ice and and it was, they were kind of comical in how they got it. But so they made those, and about the time that they were making those, I went upstairs on the boat and I was enthralled. I was completely enthralled. And so I was upstairs pretty much the whole time. There was one point that they said they had some salmon, like a salmon salad on crackers. like a chicken salad, but salmon salad. And so I went down and had a couple bites of that, and it was very good. It was really good. But other than that, I was upstairs, on the deck pretty much the whole time. So we were leaving the glacier and headed back in, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to go get my Glacier. And I went down, and they didn't have any left. So if you want a Glacier, you're going to need to get it early on, because I didn't get one. But I took a picture of somebody else's Glacier here. So I'm sure it was delicious. Probably it's more the, just the idea that you have some glacial ice in your drink. The other thing was that I talked about was bear. Did we see any bear? We did. We saw one bear, but we learned a lot about the difference between black bears and brown bears. Brown bears are also called grizzly bears. And we saw a grizzly, which is very unusual. Most people that see bears in Alaska will end up seeing a black bear. But we got to see a grizzly. And it was funny because they said, oh, there's a bear on the shore. And I'm looking and I can't see it and I can't see it. And I'm still taking pictures just because I'm like, okay, it's there somewhere. Everybody's saying it's there. And then I saw it. And I had a pretty good telephoto lens, so I could zoom in on it and get a couple pretty decent pictures. So, and I think in this picture, you really can see that green water also. It really kind of comes out there. So that was very exciting to see a bear. And I don't know if I don't know if everybody sees a bear every time. 15 years ago, when we went through Tracy Arm Fjord, and we were just on the cruise ship, we weren't on the expedition boat or the excursion boat. We saw bear. We saw 2 or 3. But we were on the cruise ship, and so I don't know that we got quite as close as maybe we did on the excursion boat. But it was very exciting. He was there for a long time, and everybody got to take lots of good pictures. So it was really nice. So here was the question. Was it worth it? Was it worth $750 for the 3 of us to go on this excursion? I mean, we had bought 3 other excursions on this trip. So with all the excursions together, it was $750 a person for all 4 of our excursions, including this $250 one. So we spent a lot more on excursions on this trip than we normally do. And it's not a once in a lifetime, it's the second time, but I really wanted to do all the quintessential excursions that are in all of the ports. And I feel like we did that. We did the quintessential, when you think of that port, this is the excursion that you think of. And so I was really glad that we did this. It was absolutely worth $250. Absolutely. You would not have seen the face of the glacier at all if you had not been on one of the excursion boats. And I think it was about, I think our boat holds like 2,000 passengers. So there were, the 2,000 passengers, and then only about, I think maybe 600 of them got to do this. So like a third. It was worth it. It was beyond worth it. Save up the money and do it. And then understand that not even all of those excursions actually occur or get all the way to the glacier. So if you kind of taking a chance. So if you actually get on the boat and you actually get to go to the glacier, you can count yourself very, very fortunate. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is a new channel, and I'm working really hard to try to make these interesting. And if you have some suggestions, please put it in the comments. Please subscribe. I don't have very many subscribers, and I would like to grow. I would like this channel to become, monetized and become a bigger deal than it is. And mostly, I love going on trips. I love to travel. We call this channel, come here, Dudley. Well, I don't think you can see him now, but Dudley doesn't get to go is what we call the channel because our poor little sweet dog doesn't get to go with us. But we love to travel. We do lots of travel, and I have years of video, years of pictures to share, and more to come. We intend to continue to travel, and love to share our journeys. And I hope that you're interested. Before I go on any trips, I sit down and watch tons of YouTube videos. And I love it when people give me precise, exact information that I can, so I know what I'm getting myself into. So I know what I'm going to see. So I know how long it's going to take me to get there. So I know how much it costs. I want to know all those kinds of things. So, I'm hoping to give you that kind of information. So if you have any questions, is there any question that I didn't answer, please put in the comments, and I'm watching those and I will absolutely answer your questions. Kind of think of me as your personal tour guide, and I will help you to make your best decisions on where to go and what to do, and which excursions are good and which things are the best to go see, and was it worth it? All of those answers. Thank you again so much for watching. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.